Hey, this is Seiko Lumumba from Bedouin Soundclash. You're in real popularity.
The band has been touring a lot for this album. Does there ever get to be a point on tour where you start to wonder what you've gotten yourself into?
Oh, that's the wonder what we've gotten ourselves into. You know what? There absolutely is. Yes. When you start a tour is basically, promotion for a record or a single or whatever, a video. So when you start, you really want to kind of get the word out to as many people as possible. So sometimes, you bite off a little more than you can chew, and you plan out a bunch of months of shows and touring and traveling back to back, and it's not until you get in the middle of it that you realize maybe we should spread this out a little more. We had that happen at the end of last year around this time where we had to cancel some dates in the U.S. because our singer Jay's voice kind of just blown out a little bit just from so much singing that night. So yeah, it definitely happens where you have to kind of step back and reassess. After that situation, we kind of look back and say, you know what, from now on, when we tour, we'll just do maybe 3 weeks at a time, come back for 2 weeks, take a break, go back up in 3 weeks, and do it like that. So yeah.
In December, you kick off your shows in Vancouver with Regeneration, a benefit concert for youth homelessness. Why is that issue important to you?
Bedouin's always been a really kind of a socially conscious band. I mean, I'm new to the band, but one thing the guys have always tried to do is, with the success the band's had, is try to kind of, shine a light on some issues to people that have that we have their ear. So homelessness is something that just affects everybody on a daily basis. We live in Toronto, but Jay's from Vancouver as well, and there's a great deal of that there, as well as in around the area that we live in Kensington Market. So it's just something that it came across our radar when we kind of jumped the opportunity at being able to do something for it. Just something we feel we could lend our voice to kind of help out with.
Mm-hmm. People see heading on tour as having fun with friends, but what is it really like?
I like your questions. They're very good. What the tour really like? It's a lot of things. It is fun. It's fun to visit different places, and we've been very fortunate in the last year to go to some, go all over the world. We got to go to India, China, to France, to the UK a bunch, to the US, and obviously Canada. So you do a lot of traveling, which is great. You get to see things. The thing is, a lot of touring is just traveling to basically play for an hour and a half every night. So you have to look at it that way. It's not really a vacation. It can be work, and the longer you do it, the more it can be a real, trudge. But at the end of the trip, you always have like a bunch of fans and people who really appreciate your music to share that stuff with. So that's really great. Tour buses are fun, but tour buses turn into submarines after a few months, and you have to realize that the people that you're with are your band members and your crew members they become roommates. So some of these stores, you got to put up with that. So there's ups and downs to it. There's good things and bad things. It's certainly not as glamorous as people think it is, because it's a lot. I got a lot of traveling. So at the end of the day, it's kind of be on stage for an hour and a half, but it's a pretty magical hour and a half, so it works out.
Looking back at the album now, after playing so many shows, do you still feel the same about it?
No. I mean, different view of it than you first had when we first recorded the tunes. We kind of were under a bit of a deadline, so we had a limited amount of time to kind of put all those songs together for the album. And when you play something this many times, like, you always will add stuff and you'll augment things. There's things that we do differently, or parts that we'll lengthen or shorten based on what we think it feels like now. So, that might be something that in the future, if we could change, we might like just being able to play songs out more or rehearse them more before going to the studio with them, just so we have a chance to live with them more, and you develop a more fine-tuned relationship with the music. So, we still love the album. But it just, now we would have done a couple of things differently, that's all.
What expectations do you have for yourself when you're creating music?
So I'm the new guy, right? So, the band's, it's a beloved band, and people grew up with these tunes. They went to university and whatnot with these songs. So I come in and I kind of always want to be really respectful of that. At the same time, I try to be very mindful that the guys chose me and asked me to be a part of this Bedouin Soundclash because they want my input. So I try and, in terms of expectations, I really just try and keep in mind what the fans like about the band, and at the same time try and inject, what I kind of grew up with and what I'm capable of bringing to the table. It's a three-piece, and three-pieces are very different kind of bands to make music with them, like a four-piece or anything larger, because you have three guys who have very specific jobs, so you kind of have to hold down very specific roles. You can't just everything's doubly important on you because it's only one guitar player, only one bass player, only one drummer. So in terms of expectations, I really kind of keep that in mind and try and be really mindful of my job,
What do you think it is about the band that continues to intrigue so many people?
Like I say, we meet a lot of fans, and I certainly met a lot of new fans in the last couple years that I've been in the band. And the first thing, more often than not, people's lips are, I grew up with you guys when blah, 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 or me and my wife danced to your song at our wedding, or when I was in university, these songs helped me get through the night and helped me get through exams and whatnot. A lot of people have very nostalgic memories of the band, so that's which is great. I mean, is because you have people who always remember you for a certain period in their life, which is really special. At the same time, it can make things a little difficult when you're trying to do, to pursue new avenues and things because people kind of expect a certain thing of you. We definitely are trying to do that. We try to do that with Like the Horizon, and we will be trying to do that with future releases. And like I say, it's a delicate tightrope because people expect the old Bedouin and reggae stuff. We want to kind of still do that stuff, but add a little bit more to the palette, So yeah, that's basically, people kind of expect that good time vibe they grew up with. We'll try and do that, but try and add something else to the spectrum.
You guys recently shot a music video for Brutal Hearts. What was that experience like, and are there any fun experiences from that set that you can share?
So Brutal Hearts we shot with legendary director Bruce McDonald. We had this idea to kind of approach him about the video and just see what he, just give him the song and the content of the song and see what he would come up with. And he kind of came back with the idea of having four separate versions of the video. We're not sure what we're going to do and how we're going to release them. We have one distinct one, but we have different kind of versions of how it was shot. So it's basically a love story centered around two people. And, actually, it's kind of a lust story. Let's call it that. He just it was really great. He was a really great guy working, really easygoing. We went in with a really loose kind of idea, and we came out with some really great things and we're happy with. So there will be a couple different versions floating around there. As far as funny stories, we shot in Kensington Market. Jay and I both have our own respective places in the area, and it's a great part of Toronto, but there's a lot of colorful characters. And on that particular day, every crazy street person with like his own signature thing came out and rode because cameras were out. So we had we had guys on bikes with megaphones. We had people splashing around with dogs in the fountain. We had a guy that was playing a hand drum or whatever Bruce would say, and action. This guy would start playing like he was on film, so nobody asked him to be. And then the minute he yelled cut, the guy would stop playing. So he made his way into the video eventually. So just like, and one of the edits certainly reflects a lot of those characters you being there. Because that's kind of like you can't really recreate in script. So, so that was definitely there. We also, one of the scenes, Bruce had Beatrice, girl to be that sings female lead in the song, show up and meet Jay with a present. And just to keep Jay surprised, every time she gave him the present, every take we did, that she gave him the present, he was a different present whenever when he would open the box. So he'd have a unique sense of surprise of what it was. Sometimes it'd be a muffin, sometimes it'd be a red velvet cupcake, sometimes it'd be a ring, sometimes it'd be like, whatever. So I kept things fresh every take.
How does the album stand out to you personally? Can you talk about a couple of your personal highlights?
Well, for me, far and away, my favorite song on there is actually Brutal Hearts. It's the song I play the least on, but I think the tone, like the mood of the song, is really, really unique. It's really, really great, and just the content, the lyrics are really kind of blunt and harsh, but still very romantic. So that one's definitely my favorite. And Fool's Tattoo is another one that I really like. It just has a really great groove, and the second song on the record, it just kind of introduces a really different side. Like you hear it immediately something different from Bedouin, which so I really like it for that. Jay did one there, acoustic one called "No One Moves, No One Gets Hurt." That I think is really touching. It's about kind of his relationship with, among other things, as far as his relationship with Eon. So I find that really, really touching. So yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Do you feel like you're continually getting better?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, without question. We started again a couple of years ago, and a band is a relationship, so you have to build it, and you have to get to know people you're with, the good and the bad, what works, what doesn't work. I think after 2 years of this, and after a year and change of pretty steady touring and music writing, and just basically living together, on the road, we definitely have a much better creative spark than we did when we first started. Because before it was discovery. Now it's a lot less discovery. Now it's more so, just kind of making things, just realizing certain ideas that we have and making them happen, and having a shorthand of how to communicate and make that stuff happen. So definitely getting better.
Does music just happen?
Yeah, sometimes, sure. A lot of times it's, for me, from my point of view, it's interpreting because the way we tend to come up with music is Jay writes something, we'll bring it to Eon and I, and then we kind of from there build on it. But it's usually a pretty strong idea or beginning of a song, or even sometimes fully fleshed out song, and we just kind of polish it. So for me, a lot of making music with Bedouin is really just kind of fine tuning, and it's and kind of interpreting, what kind of gets thrown my way. So I don't know if it just happens so much as it's kind of like, it gets brought to the table, and then it gets refined and iterated on.
How do you hope to progress from here?
Well, we're going to take a short break for just the new year. Jay has these soul stuff to work on. Eon's going to focus on DJing. I have a few different projects I'm involved in with some friends here and in the States. So I'll do that, and we're just going to take the break and get our batteries recharged, and then come back and work on new music. The record company, they want a record right now, but we think it's best we just take a bit of a break, take a deep breath, get some fresh air, and then go back at it and make another record. We're all really excited about the next chapter of the band, because we just really feel we're battle hardened. We feel we've really kind of pushed ourselves, to the point where we've really given a lot more than we expected to give in the last year, in terms of our touring, in terms of our just interaction with the fans, in terms of just what we're kind of putting putting forward for people to see. So we're really excited to kind of come back and go back at it.
And any final thoughts, anything that you'd like to say to the readers of Popularity?
Let's see. Yeah, well, thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for being kind to the new guy, and for another Bedouin album in 2012.